Sorry, for those of you on Zoom, we're now correct.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, to the people at Zoom, we had internet issues this morning.
Sorry.
So we approved the agenda.
We did approve the agenda as read. It was voted on unanimously, and then we started with the pledge where everybody should have been able to catch up on the sound. So sorry about that. This time, is there any public comments? Yep.
Hi, Kim Tudor. No real comment. I just needed to hand these to Alan.
Okay. Thanks. Anyone else have a public comment at this time? Hearing none, I guess JD will start with you.
Good morning.
Morning,
JD
sir.
King, Page County Engineer. It's a beautiful day in Page County. Fall is here. With the rain, we've been out blading in the districts, reshaping some dirts and losing windrows in preparation for the winter. We're hauling rock with 3 trucks, a couple belly dumps in a tandem. The pipe crew is working on removing the bridge on Kiwi north of J52 and doing some other pipe work in the area. And then this morning at 6:45, I got a call from the drivers. They were in Rockport with the tank cars. They should be there now. So we're making progress there. That bridge has been closed for several years. And I'm certain the Stevens will be pleased when they get that back open to traffic. I think they told me they were starting a nursery down that way. We're mowing some brush, some west of Braddyville and other places, cutting back some overhangs. This is a normal fall thing ahead of the harvest when farmers are moving large equipment up and down the roads, including the dirts. And we got a mower on the gravels, one of our side mowers. He's started in the southeast part of the county. He's going to work himself around in clockwise fashion. And right now the pavements are pretty good shape for being mowed. We may mow them, a second pass on the foreslope where we can to aid the snow and blowing across as we anticipate winter. The parts came in sooner than expected for the mill, and they're putting that back together. I still see it in the shop and in some pieces. It's not ready to grind yet, but it's there's progress there too. The spray patcher and the oil storage tank that we have in the yard are empty and winterized. Oil doesn't work through the spray patcher when it's 50 degrees. The bucket cylinder been returned from Altoona and reattached to the old excavator. It should be down helping with the tank cars there at Kiwi. Our motor grader number 8 that has a cracked housing between the engine and the transmission is still in Atlantic waiting the mechanic to become free. And our single axle truck is in Omaha at the dealer doing pre-delivery stuff. On our main construction project, the resurfacing of M63, only the patching remains. The smaller tasks like the bridge approach and corner guardrail and rumble strip patches. Those have been completed. We're just waiting on Henningsen to come in with the patchers again. Doing paperwork on the season's projects. I've handed you another gravel connector map. The original that was presented last week was in green. I added a couple miles in red, so it's easy to spot where the changes are. Of course, I'll turn them all back to the same color next time you see this. Both the red spots, or both the red miles are dirts that there's future construction projects in the vicinity, and those, if they're turned to gravel, will make a better detour. That's the case on the one up by Essex. There's been, of course, calls for that to be rocked before by some local farmers and people that live along there. And then the one west of Yorktown is if we don't have the project there involves a couple of bridges and a road, building a new part of the road. And so when the bridge is out, there's a residence there to the west that has no all-weather way out unless we rock that north-south road there, K Avenue, I think it is. Or if we build the road first and connect that up. This is our proposed alternate road. So we take out the two bridges and build one bridge back on that Yorktown project. Mink starts tomorrow afternoon down in St. Joe. The highway officials at the federal, state, and local level from Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas all gather there and talk about the common problems and new things from above, and then we got some information about given the new administration and the direction they're going on with discretionary grants, they're tying these things to metrics or facts or data that we haven't seen before. Instead of putting money in a bridge program, they have grants that are discretionary and you have to apply for them, and there's all kinds of hoops to jump through, and including information about historically disadvantaged communities and equity and all these other federal things. But I did find we're not here in Page County, we're not historically disadvantaged, at least according to the feds. But there's a part of Taylor that is. But we have a part of the county, according to the federals, that is transportation disadvantage indicator, whatever that means. Anyway, so here's some charts or graphs that show that. Now, does this give us an advantage when it comes to getting grants? I don't know, but it shouldn't hurt. Now it's, we're not like Taylor County where that is a historic disadvantaged community in the northeast quadrant there in Taylor. I'd say Taylor's disadvantaged altogether, but that's because I live in Page. Just for what it's worth, and I don't know if it's worth anything, but here it is.
What does the pink mean again? What are we considered?
Transportation disadvantage.
Transportation disadvantage indicator, not community. it's just indicator. And of course, I'm sure the folks down south part of the county might think that, you know, whatever. So, and you know, you can see that Clarinda, an area around Clarinda is not, you know, it's not strictly the southern part of the county, but most of it. So, just kind of a underserved community census tracts. Now, on a separate thing, they use census tracts in the Shenandoah Water Management Authority to locate where there was some actual projects that were built in Fremont, Mills County, as opposed to further up the watershed where, in my mind, you put structures further up the watershed, it'll affect a lot more stuff than down here toward the downstream end of the watershed. So hopefully this will give us a little advantage when it comes to seeking grants for bridge and road funding. Remains to be seen. Questions for me?
On the connector map, I think last week you had on the original green, it was like 4.1 miles.
4.2 and now it's 6.2.
It's okay. So you've added 2 miles.
And let's see my dollar. And so at 1,200 tons per the mile, at 6.2 miles, it turns, instead of 100, it's $194,000 now. At 26, went up, went up 63,000.
So 194.
Is it 194? Yes. I will intend to bring this to the board as an agenda item next week.
Okay. Thanks, JD. Any other
Okay.
questions?
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Before we get that as an agenda item, are we absolutely sure the ARPA rules allow us to do that at this point?
I'm going to guess it would better the safety and security of residents in our county. I can't imagine that we'd have any problem. No.
Thank you.
If I don't forget, she said, I didn't get one.
I said, I don't have to leave it.
Okay. No.
Give your staff.
No, I'm having cramps in my hands. I'll try to remember to get a hold of Jamie. What's Jamie's last name? Cashman?
Cash.
Yeah. I'll send him a note.
All right.
I think at this time, we're probably ready to approve the special Clarinda school election second tier canvas.
Yep, so we just need this adds in Taylor County's side,
Oh.
so if you guys just want to read which one you have, and then.
Okay. Clarinda Lead Library, voting place, yes, 82, no, 18. Absentee ballots, 17 yes, 0 no, 1 undervote, 1 overvote, and no provisional ballots. Do you need the totals from the bottom? Okay.
Yeah, I have Taylor County's poll.
Okay.
They have 6 yes, 0 absentee for a total of 6.
Perfect,
Wow.
thank you.
So do we need a motion to approve the
Yes.
special canvas? I would make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the special Clarinda school election second tier canvas?
Aye.
Do am I supposed to sign this? Somebody else sign?
I've got something here I'll send over and we'll all sign.
Not this one. That's fine.
Oh. We sign this one too, you say?
I don't think so.
No.
Is that-
No, this one, I'm gonna give you this one.
Oh, okay.
I've got,
Okay. And do you want that back then?
Yeah. It's for you.
Bunch of pins here, 8 of 10.
Well, I'm looking for a blue one.
I found one here that seems to be working.
I think this one finally, it's got a little ink left in
I
it.
used black anyway.
Multiple is right.
More signatures and votes, huh?
Just not, okay, there's the first round. This one just has one signature line on it. And this will go with those two, I think, that she gets. I signed it, you signed it, Jacob. That just needs to be put with,
Oh,
the other
with
two.
that other,
That'll all just stay together
okay.
and then go back to Christie.
You, whoops.
I'll wait and let you get those signed, Jacob. Okay, got all that? Chris, you got everything back you need? Next item up is to discuss approve reopening courthouse restrooms to the general public. We had a member of the public that asked us if that was a possibility. And then we've had some comments received from staff within the building about concerns that would be. So, you know, I think it boils back to what we discussed maybe 4 years ago. We've got a real security issue down in the basement with that around the ladies' room and access into the building and the possibilities of entering. That is probably one of the biggest items of my concern. The people cleaning up after themselves and whatever is always a concern, but I don't know how we solve that one, but
Before it was shut down, whenever that was, their stuff, how long has it been open forever?
far as I know,
as
long as I can remember.
So
yeah, I don't know.
they hadn't
for
had
sure.
much issue. I don't know if there could be a way to secure the door better. That'd be a good idea, but the public building, public restroom, people on the square, it's kind of a nice thing. They're all paying to have it done up, so as long as the door could be secured, I think if it's been open forever, it'll be open again.
Well, yeah, that door, I mean, it's kind of like this weekend with the band jamboree. You're gonna be, you know, it's open for special occasions. If we have a door issue, then,
It's them too.
I mean, it could happen on a day like
Sure.
then, so. But I wonder what it would take to fix that. Is it fixable? I know that
I'm not
door is
sure.
very flimsy.
That was a Homeland Security problem clear back, way back 5 years ago, probably, that they suggested that was an entry point that needs to be changed. So I guess my thoughts would be maybe is to see if Gene could work that into his list of things to look at, go back and gather some of that information that was from that study and see what we need to do down there to change and fix that first.
Yeah, I'd like to see the door fixed before we open them up too.
Yeah.
I know our employees are concerned about
Mhm.
security.
Mhm.
Fix the door and open it up, that's what I think, so. Should be fixed, I mean, it was open forever and ever and ever, so should be able to fix it.
I don't think it gets a lot of use. I mean,
No.
frankly, I don't
No.
think there's a lot of activity, but
No, probably more in the men's and probably in the ladies, I guess.
so we want to just table it until we get a report back from Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want
And would this be something it would be okay for the auditor's office to visit with Gene a little bit about?
Unless they don't have time. and
Yeah,
want one of
yeah.
us to.
Yeah, why don't we ask someone in the auditor's office to talk to Gene and see what his recommendations would be from reading the report that Lyle put together for us many years ago, and then address it with us and see if it's a doable fix.
I'm gonna see Gene here in a little bit too. I might go look at it. I'll look at it. I've never really paid attention to them.
You got carpenter skills.
Yeah. Slight carpenter skill.
That'd be okay, Chris? Okay. Okay. I don't think we have anybody, so we'll table that for further discussion.
Okay.
Next item up is to discuss approve the tax abatement for 202 Wabash Avenue. And I think that is the photo of the house.
Property on the
The
left.
property on the left is been considered it's a nuisance property. And City of Shenandoah has requested that we abate the taxes on this property.
So they take deed on this yet? They did.
Looks like, yep, certificate of change of title. So they have taken the deed. Certificate of change title, so I don't know if that's the same as a deed, but it's in the process of, that was on September 14th.
Okay. I want to make a motion, we approve the tax abatement at 202 Wabash Avenue, Shenandoah, resolution 46, 2022.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second to approve this tax abatement at 202 Wabash in Shenandoah. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 There we go. I'll let you guys sign. You have any claims? Okay, okay. Next item up will be board communication. Jacob, you want to tell us about Swiftville?
Well, they're involved in lots of things, building houses, the driving vans, the buses, and everything else.
And they're also, this process of that home, that funding will probably help take care of some of that cost.
Yeah, I got one shot at it here learning, but they're gonna
Mhm,
come in and help. They
Mhm.
showed several places they already have help
mhm.
here.
Yeah, the Southwest Iowa Trust Fund for housing, Southwest Iowa Housing Trust Fund is pretty amazing what they've done with that in all the communities in Southwest Iowa.
So SWIPCO will pick up the whole cost of that?
No, but they'll help some of it. So.
And they have engineers and architects and everything else to come in and help design the squares. And
Mhm.
help
Yeah, they
with
do a lot of the CO, what are the CBC, however that
Yeah,
acronym is for the CBDG grants, those, the home inspectors. Our son just purchased a house in Shenandoah, and it's nice to have home inspectors available through them that could come in and give some advice on what needed to be done. It's another program that just a lot of people don't realize how deep it is. You know, when we built the new addition in Shenandoah at the library, they were the ones that helped organize the whole grant process for us. All of the major grants, huge.
I know they had a little staff turnover, they back,
Mhm.
everybody.
I think they're still short, maybe a person or two that are still training. But Alexis Speener that used to be with them, she was really going to be missed. She was very good in the grant writing and organizations, small communities, what they do for sewer, water for these little communities. It's pretty amazing, pretty amazing.
and they log more miles than.
Yeah, yeah.
They went over how many miles they drive and
Mhm. Their
individual
transport,
haul, every time they haul somebody.
their transportation system for the factories up, especially Oakland and I think Atlantic, maybe they do some direct transportation from Council Bluffs. We just built a new garage or bought a new storage center up in Council Bluffs to store vehicles. And it's really big. It's a lot bigger than you can imagine. It's just really huge now. McCurdy has done a good job, so.
So how many counties are in that cog off the top?
8, is there 6 or 8? Now I
I
can't
don't know, I
remember.
think 8, maybe 9.
I think 8.
It was a
I
bunch.
think 8.
So how far
Cass.
east do they go of Cass County? Do they have it there?
No. I think,
It was on
yeah, Potawatomi and Cass, and then of course Montgomery Mills, Fremont Page,
Taylor.
Taylor, and then is there somebody, is the one above Adair,
Harrison,
Adams?
well, maybe Adams would be
Yeah.
south.
I don't think Adair is, but I'd have to get the book out.
I just
It was a
Yeah.
bunch.
It's, a lot of people are involved, a lot of employees. It's a very large dollar business.
Well, it provides a great service to.
It
a lot
does,
of-
it does.
We have a lot of volunteers. Volunteer drivers and volunteer,
Mhm.
it seemed like a lot of volunteers they're recognizing. So.
Okay, anything
That's
else?
all I had, I'm trying to remember. I went to juvenile detention, we're gonna be figuring next month our, what we leave in capital and dispersing money back to the county, so that's coming. Next month, beside that, the money we'll get back,
So it's not cost as much money as they thought.
no,
Good, good.
every year there's always
A surplus.
money that comes back
I was
generally.
gonna- I
Unless
was
we
gonna
have
say,
somebody,
it didn't used to be like that. We used
well,
to, didn't we?
I think last year wasn't very good, I think last year we even had to pay an elector because, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
We had, depends how many
Yes,
kids come up from H County.
right.
And sometimes we have almost none, and last year we had
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember a few years ago, John commented.
We had to pitch in more.
So I think last year might have cost us a little, and this year we're getting money back. I think that's what happened. but I can't remember.
Good.
Was that it, Jacob?
Yeah, that's all I've done.
I had mental health disability service meeting in Oakland yesterday, and it was amazing. We had, I think, the full board with one exception. It's the first time. Normally people are missing. That's a 9 county. It was pretty much business as usual, although the program was from the data analyst from the region, Molly Brown, and she had a high level discussion on the data. I think what I'd like to report out is that we're really blessed in Southwest Iowa to have the region leadership of Suzanne Watson and her crew, Molly Brown. They are leading state initiatives. You know, there's a lot of changes with the funding stream, and now Department of Human Services, used to be the Department of Health. They're changing their name and taking DHS, taking all this under their umbrella. And Molly, the data analyst, is kind of leading the state in getting the input standardized so that we could look at it and know what programs are successful, what programs aren't successful. It's pretty amazing. In fact, with your permission, sometime I would like to have the region make a presentation to this board to show you the cutting edge. Of course, we have 2 hospitals in our county, but the crisis intervention, the number of people in crisis who, because of this network of hospitals and the crisis intervention teams that have been established, a lot of hospitalizations have been avoided in beds that are really hard to find. And, you know, if you guys would be willing, I'd like to have Molly give us a high level, because your tax dollars are really being spent very efficiently in Southwest Iowa region. Not all regions could say that, I don't think. So anyway, that was a good meeting. Tomorrow I've got 4th Judicial District meeting. I'll join it by Zoom. And then the only other communication on a personal note, my sister from Dallas is in visiting back home in central Missouri. And I will not be available Saturday to open up restrooms for band day. Could
I can do that. if need be.
okay,
Good, thank you.
Just tell me what time.
okay, I'll get you the keys, or I'll bring the keys to the auditor's office, if that's okay, because I think we just shared them last time, didn't we? So thank you for that.
Anything else? No. West Central, we did not have a meeting last week. That one was postponed. Wabansie Mental Health this afternoon. Good comments from public health. It's been good, good newsletters, I thought, from Richard Mullen. Been appreciated. Keeping us up to date on what's happening there. Sounds like everything's going along fairly well. Then the only other item I wanted to mention, I kind of alluded to a little bit with Corey earlier. We had a situation last week when some of the staff of the VA got into work. A couple of doors in the other end of the building were wide open. Unfortunately, we had moved the VA office to the new room and moved Department of Human Services, DHS, to a smaller office. So therefore, cameras and all the wiring had not been redone yet. We were waiting on some parts. So therefore, we didn't have any video of what happened, but we're guessing there was no cabinets open, nothing was messed with, doors weren't fractured. Police came out. We're assuming somebody stayed in the building after either one of the treatment rooms somewhere, had hidden in the building and then left after they couldn't get into anything else, had left and just left the doors open. So Corey went over on Friday, and that's when we discovered we did not have a key for all the doors. And so we were able to get a key, and Monday he was able to go in and start finishing up some work, and I think on the camera system. So we'll have everything recorded as far as what's going on in the building. They'll provide us a key for that one door, so the courthouse has that key for that building. Corey, anything else you want to add to that? Did that cover that pretty well? He's going to check into putting one out back, if he can figure out how to get it through the wall without.
On the north end you're
Yeah,
talking.
north end, yeah. So thanks, Corey, for getting that put together, and hopefully that will solve any issues in the future. We're also going to look at some type of a door alarm system. Most of them are either could be costly or could be cumbersome to use, unless we were to develop something similar to what we've got in the courthouse. And then it gets could be more hard to install, where we know when a door gets open unauthorized. So anyway,
Okay.
we'll keep working on that.
I did forget one thing, fellas. You probably saw in the news on Thursday evening, the EMA Commission
Yes.
hired a new director, Jill Harvey, from Holdridge, Nebraska. She is going to start full-time here on October 31st. She has a residency requirement of February 1. She has a family. She has a husband, 2 children. Really excited to get her.
When did you say the start date is?
October 31st.
October 31st. Okay.
I know she's looking for housing. If you have any clues on housing, I think she's located a couple of things, a couple of possibilities in the Essex area, but if you have some, I think she said she'd prefer 3 bedrooms. If that's doable, if anybody's got any tips, why don't you send them to the courthouse, we'll get them to Jill, but she'll be here October 31st.
Good. Yeah. And I forgot something too. I possibly may be out of town on October 25th, our last meeting of the month. So I'll let Christy make that note and she can share. So we'll try to work schedules around in case we have anything. But I possibly might not be available to even Zoom. So. Okay. Approved minutes.
Oh, on the minutes, I think, I didn't have a problem with these minutes. I found some from last week though, that I missed last week. I don't know. I didn't see anything wrong with these minutes.
Is that a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve these, and I want to talk about last week just a second. I'll make a motion to approve
Second.
these minutes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What I had last week was simply just, I don't know if it's on the agenda for next week, how this works, just make sure it's right. You don't have them with you, but there's, the motion says on a motion by Morris, seconded by Armstrong, the board moves to approve authorizing a board member to work with legal counsel to prepare the road use and decommissioning agreements, and then our vote. All I thought that was missed is it doesn't say what the motion was, it was just the board member was, I wanted to just have Chuck for decommissioning and Alan for road use agreement. However, that should be worded, but it doesn't define what it was exactly.
I don't have a copy of.
Yeah, I got it right here, but I'll look at just that last sentence there. So does that need to be on the agenda, just clarify that, what that motion was? Or how do we do that in the minutes?
Good question.
If we amended one the other day, does it need to be on the agenda to amend it?
Yeah, I don't know, since they've been approved, I don't know what the process is. I suppose
You know,
Why don't you talk to Melissa and see what she,
Just simply,
yeah.
just put that in there and all I want.
Yeah.
Okay,
If we do that, then we should, probably amend the minutes from the previous meeting where you, or two meetings where you were offered to work on it and you said you didn't want to do that.
well, yeah, just to clarify that was something we talked about. Not that I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted us all to do it together, not that I wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's been said a lot lately, but I don't want to, I just want to do it. Well, happily do it, but I'm going to attend all of it, and I wanted us all to be together, not alone. Yeah, so yeah, that does need to be defined better. That's all I've got.
Okay. Motion second approved. Did we vote on that? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Last item,
Jacob's item.
Jacob.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
thanks, Jacob.